But I'll tell you, that's one great thing about AI. AI, you could just type into ChatGPT, set up my OBS. Tell me how to set up my OBS. And it just shows you exactly what to do. That's AI using it well. I was going to tell you about the way I got scammed, but let me get the stream going. All right, the stream is going. So I got offered a job to write financial articles, and they tried to get me to scan an OCR code to verify my identity. And they seemed so legitimate. Fortunately, I know you don't scan anything to do anything in this day and age. You just don't. All right, our stream is going. Let's get this video started. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trader Room Plus and the Market Open. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All right, welcome everybody. We're here for the Market Open. I was thinking about possibly trading gold on the Market Open, but it's kind of I'm losing a little bit of interest as we're far away from the levels I want to trade, other than the PP. If we wanted to set up a PP magnet for gold, it's more than $10 away, but we're getting that kind of movement. We are getting that kind of movement. So I might set up the gold magnet rather than YM. Let's take a look at the YM chart. Maybe we'll set up a YM magnet on the open. Ooh, it's a little bit close, 70. It's only 19 ticks away. Should the YM do a little bit more selling off, maybe we could set up a nice YM magnet. Let's, for the moment, get our MNQ in order. MNQ 1225. Today is Friday. Let's get set. Yes, they're really this job scam thing. So there's this product called Beehive. Beehive is a newsletter. It seems like a website for newsletter people that have a newsletter. Like if you're a newsletter company or you have your own newsletter, and they were trying to convince me that I needed to verify myself as a writer so that I could submit articles through Beehive. And I just did some searching, looking around, and Beehive doesn't require writers to verify their identity. And that's when you realize it's a scam. Anytime anyone sends you any kind of OCR code in this day and age, it's probably 99% of the time a scam. Unless it's someone you know, you don't want to be clicking on any OCR codes, not in an Amazon box from a Chinese seller, not in anything. Do you want to be clicking on OCR codes? This YM 75, the problem is it's only 14 ticks away from the high. That's our problem. It's too close. It's too close. It's a double magnet. This magnet's going to take place before the open. You might want to do it. Make it easy. Do it as a reverse continue. Putting a strategy on the YM, reverse continue, couple of contracts. And I'm using a target of 30. And I'm using a stop of 35. This is a discretionary trade. Normally I don't trade before the open. And this is a market open trade, so it goes on account 15, and we'll label it reverse YM continue. Apply it, okay it, and that's account 15. Now, I like that little bit of a sell-off. I like the little bit of a sell-off. Let's set up our MNQ. We'll go back to the YM. MNQ, we've got our breakout. That's been working very nicely on the open. Going to right-click it, click on Strategy, double-click News Trader, and I'm going to load my template. I said this last week. I think next week it's time for the NQ. Maybe NQ and MNQ because people have been doing pretty good with both. Loading the template. After that Phillies game, I was like up all night listening to news and sports radio and watching YouTube videos. I need to lie down. I just need to lie down for a couple hours and just chill. But we got that webinar at noon. There's no rest. So looking for our MNQ market open. Dated 10/9, we're going to change it to 10/10, rename it. Make the date 10/10, keep it current. 10/10 wins. No one even knows what I'm talking about. Maybe Arthur if he was here. All right. 929.59 is our trigger. Bracket of 30. Target of 25. Target of 50. Stop of 100. BE minus 40 if it hits my first target. I'm using multiple contracts on my first target. And that's account 15. So my MNQ is almost ready. I'm watching the YM out of the corner of my eye. I want to set the time to 0. Turn on that trade. See where our brackets line up. Okay, bracket's pretty good. Just put the time back to normal. And our YM breakout is ready. I mean our MNQ, I apologize. And we need a quick, darn it. Darn it. Do you want to go long on the YM right now? That would break all our rules. I think I'm going to set up a regular breakout for the YM this morning. Just going to set up a regular breakout, one contract. But let's finish our MNQ. We set up our breakout. And now I'm going to set up the reverse continue. Add a second strategy. Change it to reverse continue. Couple of contracts on that. Do a 40 tick target. And a 75 tick stop. It's discretionary. Same account. Count 15. Label it. Reverse MNQ continue. It's a reverse continue. Apply it. Okay it. Turn it on. Our MNQ is completely set up. Now our YM. Probably should have gone long at the bottom of that candle, somewhere down in there. Now you're chasing, so I'm just going to wait for the open. We already have our reverse continue set up on the YM. The setup is 30 tick target, 35 stop. Okay, 35 tick stop, 30 tick target. Make sure you have it on the account you're trading it. The account is set to the right account in the software, and label it. Reverse YM continue. Turn it on. And now our YM breakout. One contract trade for the open. Breakout. Going to load my template. YM open 10.9. Going to right click and rename it to 10.10. Double load it, double click, and it loads and changes the name at the same time. Triggering at 9:29:59. Going to use a 25 bracket, one contract. Target 30 ticks. Stop 40 ticks on my stop. If the market moves 23 ticks in my favor, move the stop to break even plus 20. All right. It's a Friday. I'm expecting a decent move on the open this morning. Bracket of 25. We're triggering our breakout at 9:29:59. Target is 30. Stop is 40. One position, one contract. If the market moves X ticks, we're going to make that 23 ticks. If the market goes in our favor, 23 ticks plus the bracket, our stop's going to move to break even plus 20. Make sure you're in the right account. Check the bracket, right? By setting the account to 0, the time, right? Like we always do and we've done. Check your bracket on sim so you don't accidentally trade. Now we're above the high for our entry, but we kind of knew that was going to be the case. Now, don't forget you can always cancel your open trade and trade your reverse continue. If you don't like where it's going to open, you could just trade your reverse continue, or you could set up a magnet. I'm going to put the time back to 9:29, and we are going to stick around for Revise University of Michigan. All right? We're going to stick for Revise University of Michigan. So 9:29:59, 25 bracket, 30 target, 40 stop. Market moves 23 ticks. Move the stop to BE plus 20. Apply it. Okay it. Make sure your software is put back into the account you're trading. Apply that so it makes the change, and then put your chart trader on that account as well. So we are ready to trade. If the YM decides to keep going up, then we'll get filled long. Now I am going to post our webinar. We have a noon webinar. I'm going to post that on YouTube. Good morning, Mr. N. Let me see if I can post that properly. We're just watching the open pricing. Pre-open, I should say. YM testing the high. We could have taken that pre-open long. Would have worked. It did work. So we've got a few minutes before the open. There is the perfect test of that. Well, it made a new high. So the test really was 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago. Yeah, Francis. OBS. You do need a degree, a PhD in astrophysics to understand how to set it up. It is the most convoluted, complicated program I think I've ever used. It's so powerful, but I used to know how to get my webcam to work so that today, for instance, I'm streaming on YouTube, and I used to be able to put the webcam in the trade room stream also. Now, something changed on an update in OBS, and I don't know how to duplicate the webcam. So I've got to just, it's just one more thing to add to the list of things you have to do, right? It's a never ending list. Never ending. Because now we got to start testing for next week. Sit, sit. I have to teach sit. This dog stop. He never stops jumping up. Yeah, I've set OBS. I have OBS set to work, and I just don't ever change it because if I change it, then I won't be able to stream. So I have a setup, but you can save your setup. That much I understand. There is a way to save your setups. So the MNQ selling off a little. I'd love to get a gap fill this morning. That I'd love. A gap fill. In other words, a fast downward move. A fast downward move in both instruments at the open. That would be nice. Will you sit, please? Sit. Stop jumping on me. Because we're going to have a nor'easter this weekend, and he's going to be jumping on me and getting me soaked. Get out of here, you guys. Get out of here if you're going to make noise. Get out of here. Get. Get. All right, we got 6 minutes before the open. MNQ has been selling a bit. Definitely selling a bit. What's going on in the news? On the news feed. Not seeing anything dramatic. The big news is circumcision, circumcision, and Tylenol. Let me get this straight. Circumcision and Tylenol. Is there any scientific data that says circumcision and Tylenol leads to autism? There is no scientific evidence that a causal link exists between circumcision, Tylenol, and autism. This claim is medically unsupported and has been dismissed by autism researchers. Researchers. That's called science, people. Researchers. That's called science. Tylenol is also is believed to be safe during pregnancy. Now, do you trust them? I don't trust the drug companies as far as I can throw them. But there is no causal link between Tylenol and autism by an autism advocacy organization. major health authorities, and autism experts reject the claim that circumcision and Tylenol cause autism. Why not just say that getting a pimple gives you cancer? It's unbelievable. Unfrickin' believable. I mean, it is beyond comprehension. Beyond. Beyond. All right. We've got 3.5 minutes to go for the open. And you're right about that, Roz. Circumcision. I mean, I just think it's just cloaking some more anti-Semitism. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get all you guys out of here. They can go fight in the other room. All right, we got 3 minutes. Just what we need. Another conspiracy. Idiotic. Another idiotic conspiracy. I mean, I'm all for finding what causes autism. There does seem to be an increase. Is there an increase in autism, or are we just paying more attention to it? Usually, we're paying more attention to it. It's not necessarily that there's more of it. It's that we never used to recognize it. Now we recognize it. If anything, it's probably from all the plastic, the water companies, and all the poisons the food companies are putting in our food. I mean, that direction makes sense for health. Remove all the contaminants from our food source, and you're going to get rid of a lot of terrible cancers and diseases. I mean, what do they say? We have like a whole bottle, half a bottle of plastic in our brains. Not half a bottle, but significant amounts of plastic because everything is wrapped in plastic, stored in plastic. I mean, get rid of the forever chemicals. There are good things that make sense, but oh my God, give me a break. Tylenol and circumcision gives you autism. Oh my God. 1 minute till the open. Absolutely agree about getting rid of all the chemicals. That makes sense. The food dies. You don't need that stuff. He's right about that. But why be crazy? The problem is, he's crazy. He's truly crazy. Even a monkey has good ideas. Yeah, I mean, why do you need red dye number 5 in anything? Just so it looks good. I mean, that's why they've done it. Pistachio nuts, right? Here we go, folks. Are we going to get a follow through on the upside if we get our long fills? Are these markets going to burst? They're acting like they want to burst, but that doesn't mean anything at the open. It could totally change direction. NQ goes short, expanding the target, trailing, expanding the target, trying not to get so close. Okay, so I always get too close with my trail. YM, I just want to scalp on the YM. I don't trust the lower direction. That's the problem because the market's bullish. I don't trust the lower direction. So I'd be happy just with a little scalp here. 5, 10 ticks. I'm okay with that this morning. Give me a little. All right, so we're out $100 on the open again. Same, almost the same thing as yesterday. Now look, I could be wrong, but look at the MNQ. Close. I'm getting rid of my breakout. It's going to test the high, it looks like to me. So I want to be a part of that if it's going to test the high. My stop is below the VWAP. All right. It's pretty good below the VWAP. And I'm only going for a partial test to the high just to make a couple of more bucks. Scalp it in. Bingo. All right. Another little scalp. Getting rid of my YM open. That trade's over. And if the NMQ wants to test the high, I think I'm done on the open. Over $100 profit. The YM to me is hard to trade still. I'm still not really comfortable with the YM. MNQ, it is going to test the high, darn it. It certainly looks like it. The squeeze is bullish. Volume is up. Open volume is pretty strong. YM's going there also, but we were short on the YM. And we were short on the MNQ. So, not sorry that we didn't stick around real long on the short side. But it seems to me that everyone should have had an opportunity to make money and get yourself out of these trades, right? Hopefully, everybody made money. Many are still probably trading. So, made a quick buck, a quick buck. And now it's chopping around. The YM, though, pushing up. YM is pushing up. It's at new highs. So it's hard to go in. I don't like to jump in at new highs. The MNQ has not tested the high still. It is up. It is up. These markets are unbelievable. They keep going up and they never stop going up pretty much. All right. So we got to get ready now for Revise University of Michigan. Oh, you know what? That's what we were streaming for. Revise University of Michigan. So we'll keep the stream open on YouTube. We have one more event this week. We'll let the market open, trade for another 4 minutes or so. You had a pretty good swing there. It went. We made money on the short side, and then it had a 1 minute candle, 118 upward ticks on that 1 minute candle, and then it sold off on the next minute candle, just to give you an idea of the kind of volatility you could get on the open. Over like a 2 minute, it sold off 98 MNQ. That's quite a little bit of market volatility on the open. Not unusual. Not unusual. Okay, I'm turning off all my market opens, trades. I'm going to get rid of all of them. And I'm going to create a new video. We've got the news ready to go. University of Michigan. I know you hate hearing me say this, but this is another report that when you see the DMM, you'll see why this has been really difficult to trade. Really difficult to trade. Roz, I'm not loving the YM, to be honest. I'm not loving the YM. I might stick in my Bullinox to the MNQ because it makes money every morning, almost every morning. And Francis, very nice, very nice, very nice. All right, let's take a look. Let me set the video up. Revised University of Michigan. It's a 10 o'clock event. It's preliminary. University of Michigan. What's the difference? Preliminary is more impactful data. It's the first news, the first report. Here comes the test of the high on the MNQ, I bet. Yep, it's going to do it. Maybe. Let's see. Anyway, let me set the video up. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus Preliminary University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss for educational purposes. There's the test, you son of a gun. Now, it wasn't easy to stay in, right? Because look, you had 98 ticks go against you after 101 ticks of sell-off before it tested the high. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? You probably take your profit before you get there, right? And you trade it after the sell-off. The only way to trade that was maybe a magnet after the sell-off. Would have been a nice magnet to set up on MNQ. After the 9:30 open, it was down here. You could have set up a quick magnet for a test of the high. It's certainly not an unreasonable approach. Not unreasonable. All right, let's let these markets calm down a little bit. We have an MES setup for reverse University of Michigan. The MES bursting up just like the MNQ. Gold, which has been pretty much a disaster on University of Michigan. Let's take a look at the DMM. So here's what we got. We've got a gold breakout that hasn't worked in 3 months. And it had two winners over the past 6 months. All right. Two winners over the past 6 months. Just has been a troubled setup. It's been a troubled setup. We've had trap trades on gold with this setup. We've had ES trap trades. We tested an MES trap, and honest, nothing's great on this report. I'll show you the spike sheet. So it spiked 16 ticks last month, and here's the problem. 37 ticks the month before, 85 ticks in April, but that was the tariff month, so we're not going to count April. But prior to last month, we had 41, 47, 37, and 37 spikes. Reversals are good. Reversals are good. So we have an MES setup. We don't want to use full size ES. It's too much risk. Too much risk. But we do have an MES trap trade setup. Gold just has not worked as a breakout. It hasn't been working as a breakout. So gold, I would probably not trade it today because of the way it's behaving. If something's not behaving, you don't need to trade it, right? Trade something else. That's the way life is with trading. Do something smart. Don't be dumb. So we're not going to trade gold this morning because of its behavior. Now, looking at the gold trap trade, if you want to get risky, September it spiked 28, reversed 26, 17 in July, no move in August, 33 in June, 51 in May, 92 in tariff month, 19 in March, 43 in February. Very inconsistent tier sizes to the point where it's too difficult to get a really good trap setup. It's pretty tough. Um, you'd get, well, April doesn't count. You could use 25 and 40 on the tiers with a stop of 20 and would give you a zone of 60 safety. And it could work. It could work. It's definitely risky. Definitely risky for gold on the trap because of inconsistent spikes. A year and a half ago or a year ago, very small moves. Then in December into January, February, you had bigger moves. Then we had the tariffs, 2 big months of pretty big moves, and then it's 33, 17, no move in 28. It's a tricky trap. It's a tricky trap. Better off take the low risk MES trap trade. So the MES, not a magnet, MES trap. We're going to do position 1 and position 2. That's the number of contracts you're trading. All right. We're going to trigger at 9:59:55. $9:59:55. A 20 stop. I'd use a 30 stop. It's MES. Look to shrink it. I'd look to shrink it. Tier 1. Tier 1 is 30. I'm thinking 25. Let's look at that spike sheet once more. I mean, really, almost every month going back to February, it would have filled with that 30 tier except for September. If it's starting to move small again, then we may not get a fill today. If it goes back to the way it's been doing, August, July, June, April, March, then we should get the fill. We should be fine. So we'll go 30. and 45 on our tiers. Stop is 20. Stop is 20. All right. That's how I'm doing the trap. Just double checking a little bit of news coming across the platform, not seeing anything bad. So 9:59:55 is our trigger time. Position 1 and position 2 are the number of contracts you trade. Stop is 30 because it's MES, and 30 and 45 on the tiers. Tier 1 is 30, tier 2 is 45. Label it trap MES and trading it in number 25. Apply it, okay it, put the chart on 25. See if we can make back that trap trade Canada money on this trade, make some of it back. Also going to set up a reverse continue on the MES. Second strategy, double click news trade. News trader changes to reverse continue. Couple of contracts on one position. We'll do a 25 tick target. Do a 35 tick stop. It's MES. Target and a stop. I'm going to label it reverse MES continue. Right? And put it in the same account. I thought that was 25, wasn't it? Yes. Make sure everything's set. Account 25. Apply it. Okay it. So we have our reverse continue and we have our trap trade. The market's bullish. Remember that University of Michigan is an inflation report and a consumer confidence report. Here's the data. Watching gold here. Gold had a magnet to the VWAP. Didn't get there yet. It's still darn bullish. You got to be careful with gold today on the downside. You just have to be careful. You might not get the follow through. I still thought that gold would give us the test of the high, and we didn't get it. We didn't get it. You might get it on this report. Might get it on this report. So you could set up a magnet, or you could set up a reverse continue. And if gold starts to trend, right, you could enter. Or you could just do a magnet, high of day, low of day. Gold's going to do one of them. Most probably the high it's looking. So you could do two things. So let's set up a gold magnet on this report. Right click the chart, click strategy, double click magnet, high of day, low of day, proximity of 5. One position, exit 3 ticks before the high or 3 ticks before the low, 25 tick stop. All right. That's our gold magnet. Label it GC magnet trade and pick the account you're going to trade it in. When you turn on that magnet, you then want to adjust your orders. I don't think the low is going to even be an issue. Remember, if you hover on the magnet entry button, it shows you your buy and your sell. So my sell is 39.67. It's about $6 away from the target. That's a pretty big target. It's a good profit if it does it. So I'll make my entry a little bit tighter. It's a nice profit. And on the upside here, I really believe gold's going to test this high. It's bullish. It's up over 20 bucks. Our entry is 40.15. It's about $4.50 of profit. It's $400. So if we break this area of these last highs, if we break these last highs, I think gold will go and test the high, right? So you could either turn it on automatic by making the button purple, or wait until 10 seconds before the news and turn it on just like a breakout trade, right? Do you follow? Turn it on like a breakout trade. That's what I'll do. So not revised, preliminary, University of Michigan. Preliminary, University of Michigan. What did the last one do? Let's see if we can grab it. I was being nice by letting these guys into my room, into my office. God, they stink. Dogs really stink. Man, I thought I had BO. These dogs, they smell like they're dead and the bodies are rotting. Be quiet, I said. Get out of here. Get. Let's see if we could find a University of Michigan trade. So, October, September. September 26th. So we were trying the YM, and we haven't had great results with the YM. It did work last month. It did work last month. It wasn't big, it went up and down. So it was a target one. It was a target one winner, not more than that. It was not a huge winner. And we tried looking for a high of day, it looks like. Gold looked like it was testing the high. Did we take that second trade, that secondary trade? No, we missed that gold test. Not sure why I didn't take it there. It looked like a good trade to take. And then looking at August, August was also preliminary. August 15th. So it's an inflation, a 5-year inflation expectation and consumer confidence. Current conditions, consumer expectations, 5-year and 1-year inflation expectations. That's what this report measures. It's a private report. It's released by the University of Michigan. So that's why the data is coming out. Now, we were trying our MES in August because we've tried some trap trades over time on this report. It filled long on the MES and reversed, chopped quite a bit. It did give us a profit, and we got to trail, so it wasn't bad. And it was mixed news. You want to see news that doesn't all agree when you're going for a trap trade. What you don't want to see is all the news totally agreeing. Okay? So the magnet is almost always the same. You're just testing for the high of day. So I'm using one position and I'm triggering somewhere above the candles that made previous highs at 9:35 at the open. So the thing about magnets, the setup, you're just turning it on for a test of the high, and it's pretty much default. It's just a question of how big is your stop going to be. Get out of here. Get out of here. You two, get. Let's go. Get. Thank you. So it's gold, and let me fix my stop. Whoa, the stop is 25. Stop is 25. So high of day, low of day. We already did the proximity and moved our orders, but we'll do it again. Proximity is 5. -3 is always the first target, 3 ticks before it gets to the magnet. And that's all I'm doing, just one position, and it's in account 20. And now I just have to readjust my orders. Right about 415 is where I want to get filled, above those last highs. And I don't think we're going to get to the low. But if we do, I'll take about a $4 profit at the low. I don't think we're going to get the magnet on the upside either. We've gotten too far away. It might have been now a better PP. You could move your order all the way down to there to make it a PP magnet on the high side if you want to be a little bit nutty. That actually has a better chance of filling than the high because the high is too far away. The high is over $20 away. I'm going to do something crazy here and let it be a PP test. If it tests the PP, maybe it's going to probably fill. The problem is, will we get a good fill? Will we get a good fill? Or will it be a bad fill and hurt us on the reversal? But so I moved my order way down. So now it's doing a PP magnet, not the high. But my target's going to be up here. I'll have to shrink my target. Okay, there's my trap, MES. My gold target, I'm going to have to shrink. Now, the news came out. I'm not going to have to do anything. It's not moving. It didn't move on the news. I thought we'd get a burst. We're not getting anything. The ES isn't moving either. Not really. Gold, it's pushing down a little bit. So, last event of the day is a no trade. No trade. Gold just selling, just continuing its continued sell off, right? Now, the MES, The idea of a trap trade, folks, is you get a burst and you get a change in direction. We didn't get a burst. We're right at the exact price we were when the orders went on the chart. This is a canceled the MES. You have to cancel it. There's no trade. Nothing happened. Okay, now it's moving. Do I want to get filled on the long side on the MES? Honestly, it's not really a proper trap trade. It's not a proper trap. I would cancel it. I would cancel it. Let me tell you why. Because the first move was up and it didn't go very far. Now you just really have a price moving to the downside. It's almost a minute and a half after the news. I don't know. It's not a proper trap. It's not the way we take the proper trap. You want a burst and a change. That's the way you want it. What we may be getting is just a change in direction. So it didn't seem like the proper magnet for me. Gold not happening either. Now, do you have a reverse continuation on the MES to the downside? You're right at the VWAP, so you got to be careful. You do have to be careful. You know, the trap, it might have worked if the price pushes back up, then you might have a trap that works if you waited about 2 minutes to get filled, which is a little bit long. It's a little bit long. But now it's looking like it would have worked. And if you think about it, the MES, it's a little bit more bullish than anything, right? Because it's 13 bucks bullish, 13 points. This is the key right here. Does it continue up or does it push back down? Now, it's all about what you decided to try to trade. So, look, I went with what our testing showed, and really there was nothing that tested great on this event recently. Yes, maybe the NQ worked today, but it hasn't been a steady winner on this event. So, look, you can have a good trade that's almost random because there are instruments that move on news. NQ tends to move on news. YM tends to move on news. So you can set up trades and make some money. But you have to know what you're doing, and sometimes you have to know how to set up a trade because we didn't really have setups for either one of those instruments. So you have to know what you're doing to set those trades up. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for watching on YouTube. Join us at our webinar at noon. I'm going to teach everyone how to set up charts. We have a PDF of tools. So I'll see everybody on YouTube at the webinar. Thanks for joining today, and I'll see you next week.